kilometre champion. And now this is match number 3. Dave Spessott rather, 22, and he's up against the inexperienced but very courageous Russell Owensworth, who's 19 years of age, and this is his first big competition. And until a couple of years ago, he was in fact looking to be a top-class rugby player, and then he was advised to abandon the game because of injury. He's chosen cycling, and now he's facing one of the real Aussie hopes here.
Spessott very impressive in the qualifying rounds, under 11 seconds, really set the pace for the whole day.
Yes, he certainly did, and that was a shock to everybody here when they saw just how quick this track was yesterday. And he's won the draw as well, so this is going to force Owensworth out. By the way, if you lose the draw in the first match, you automatically get the benefit of the draw in the second match, so that each rider has to lead for the opening lap. And then if there's a deciding match to decide who goes on, then the draw is made again. Charlie Walsh then making sure the Kiwi gets shoved off first, then he eases Spessott out into the ocean, and he'll just track him round at what they call the Côte d'Azur, the blue band of the track. They're not doing anything wrong by riding off the track. The sprinters, quite frankly, seem to be able, in these cat and mouse tactics, to be allowed to be able to ride almost anywhere within reason. And we've seen one or two antics over the years. It's usually the tough Australian sprinters who give us the most entertainment over the last 10 years. And this has been Australia's competition in the Games. 9 gold medals since it first came in 1934, beginning with Dunk Gray back in 38. Russ Mockridge, of course, one of the great cyclists who is as well known in Europe as he was here in Australia. And over the last couple of years, since 1970, John Nicholson has won the gold medal twice, 77 and 74. Kenrick Tucker popped up then to take over the mantle 78 and 82. So if the pattern stays with us, Gary Niewand will retain the title he won in 86.
I think he'd be a very hot favourite at this stage, Phil. He plays a tactic game very well. But Dave Spessott is one of the very few Western sprinters in the world that has the pleasure of beating. He beat Gary Niewand in Tasmania in the trials in one race. And what's going on here?
Well, they're riding very low off the track, and I'm not sure.
What I think is the New Zealander wasn't going fast enough for that first lap, and they've obviously asked him to restart the race.
I think because he's come off the Côte d'Azur itself, Dave, Mike, rather, because in fact he'd gone over the line.
Right, he completed the first lap.
But yes, he completed the first lap, but because he'd come off the blue Côte d'Azur, and after I was telling you they could ride almost anywhere, they were being tracked there by one of the race commissaires, that's the French term for referee here, and they fired the double shot and has decided there will be a restart. And if they blame the New Zealand boy, then they'll put him out to lead again for the next lap round. So there'll be a restart here. But it was interesting to see, don't forget that Owensman is a very inexperienced rider, yet he was prepared to take a sprinter on as his own game there.
Yeah, he's going to... Dave Spessott has proved already in the qualifying ride he's a very fast bike rider. If you're going to ride someone like David in a sprint, you want to make sure you've got a bit of speed on to counteract his jump. By doing what the Kiwi was doing then, by going so slow, you're allowing David to take the advantage of jumping from behind and catching you.
Right, now they're going to tell young Russell Owensworth here, the teenager, what he's done wrong. It's a restart, and Owensworth is being brought back to the inside lane, which means that the blame has been placed on him. I'm pretty sure, because they're so afraid of going slowly on this banking. In training here for the week before the Games began, we had an awful lot of falls on the track, and they're very afraid of that particular banking where the offence has been incurred, because there is dust flying off the nearby fields, which has just been laid out to grass seed, and it settles as a film on the track. And if you go around there slowly, it's almost 80-20. You're going to come down rather quickly, and it won't be going round the bowl. So a restart then. A restart then for Russell Owensworth, and this time they might take a little bit more urgency in the situation. Spessott, 22 years of age, tracking Russ around the Côte d'Azur again, and this time it looks as though they are going to take a bit faster order here.
Yeah, he's been given the instructions by the coach to go out a little bit quicker. Another interesting point also, Phil, about their bikes, the sprinters use a bigger diameter bag tyre to maintain more rubber on the track and therefore give them more traction on the bank. So Dave Spessott's riding the special tyres which are manufactured in West Germany, and they run at about $130 each, and they pump them up on this track to about 240 pounds per square inch.
And those of you who own a car, most of us do, then you know just how hard they're pumping these tyres up. About 5 times the pressure that you put in the car at home. They are absolutely rock hard. The big danger, of course, is if they do blow on a track of this steepness, the rider knows he almost certainly will crash. Now look at this. Owensworth trying desperately to force Spessett into the lead. Spessett's kicking back on that chain, and they'll try and turn those handlebars, lock that bike dead still. Spessett can do it, look. This isn't easy, believe me, Ray. This takes some doing. And apart from just standing still, your legs now are taking the pressure, kicking forward and backwards. Your thighs are aching, your calves are aching. That's really very, very well done by this boy from New Zealand, who is a newcomer to cycling. And he's locked himself, but he's wobbling a bit. He's given up. Spessett says, OK, if you think you can do it, have a go. But you're not going to get me in front of you. I'm keeping you right where I can see you. And let's go on. So, a nice try there by Russ Owensworth. And that was rather good, wasn't it, Mike?
It was good. He doesn't want to lead, obviously, but David Spessett doesn't want to lead either.
No.
So, you could just see by that shot, David, a little bit more experience. He was quite comfortable in standing there all day. We're just about getting out the lunch boxes to sit down and watch him, but the young Kiwi having a bit of trouble.
Well, it's another little marker as to how much the Kiwi cycling team has improved since Edinburgh. And look at this now, Spessett, he caught him off guard. He saw him glance very slightly to the right, dive for the big hole he left on the inside. And I'm afraid it's goodbye now, Russ, because you made the classic mistake. You didn't watch your man, and Spessett has flown. He goes one up. So all the stars are going through at the moment. Curtis Harlett is through, but of course they've decided to come. Guy Niwan has gone one up. Dave Spessett has gone one up. More cycling to come in the velodrome very soon, Ray.